Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos.
Let me-
Pop another cough drop.
I'm not screaming today, but
You're not going to be able to talk after this. I mean, you've been sick for so long. After
Yeah.
we're done recording this podcast, you're just going to need to hiatus and
I'm
rest your
gonna go
voice.
make another giant mug of hot tea with lemon and honey. And I need to call Ariel back from yesterday because I ran out of voice yesterday. I was like, I can't do this right now. And then I'm supposed to meet Aaron for coffee, but I've already told them. I was like, just heads up.
I'm not going to be able to talk.
Yeah, it's gonna be you guys. I'm just gonna be there to drink coffee.
That's okay. Whatever plague is going around is going. It's going around. It's aggressive.
Right?
But
And
we
everyone
are
has
back. We are back this week. We I think it was a couple weeks ago now. We talked about following up with your clients and staying in touch with them. And
Yes.
this is the follow up to that. This was actually a listener question, and we're building on that. So as far as a follow-up system, because we had a lot of ideas of staying in touch, keeping in contact, those kinds of things, but how do you manage that? Because we all know that there was a buyer that we closed a couple of years ago that after that, gift basket and welcome home card, did you send him anything? Did anything at all? It happens to the best of us, but today we're talking about systems of being able to keep track of those past clients, because ultimately we want repeat clients, right? And the best way to do that is to stay in touch with them enough that you're not annoying, but enough that also when they're ready to relocate back to their hometown or upsize or downsize in 5, 10, 15 years, that you're the one that they're remembering.
Yes.
I can't tell you the number of times that they're like, well, I would use, like, I had a great experience with my realtor. I don't even remember their name. Crickets?
Yep.
What?
Or I was cleaning out my CRM the other day and came across previous buyer. Transaction fell apart. I'll be honest, I haven't, other than emails, haven't touched base with him. Found that he had unsubscribed from emails. I was like, that's interesting. Ran his number. He's already bought and sold. And I was like, okay, my fault, my bad.
Yeah.
But it was also one of those where it was like, it was a crappy situation. And while I did everything in my power, he probably still thought wasn't great. Is what it is. Fine, I'll move on. But had I done more, maybe he would have been like, I got to call Alyssa. So,
And this can be something as simple, and I say as simple as, we talk about time blocking a lot. Your follow up, whether it's with past clients or prospects, like, it should be booked in there.
Yep.
This should be part of your follow up. Now, past clients isn't something that you're going to be following up every day if they're ready to buy or sell, or every week if they're getting close. This is something that I feel like, and you can tell me if you disagree. Follow up with a past client every other month, maybe once a quarter, those kinds of things. I don't think that this is something that you're in their face every month.
no,
I think that that's too much at that point. But if you're doing a mix of, like we had talked about, like postcards, your home maintenance tips, a reminder media magazine,
right.
those are soft, like, hey, here's my face and my name. Hey, here's
Yeah.
my face and my name. Those kinds of things. I do think that you should be texting, calling, videoing at least once a year.
Absolutely.
At least.
Like their birthday, their home anniversary, stuff like that. That's more than I mean, I always do birthday cards. I think those are a great touch.
Yep.
A birthday message. I actually sent one earlier this morning, not even a client, but it's someone in my sphere of influence. I was like, "Oh, today's her birthday." Shooting a text message. And just for birthdays, yes, they're in my Lofty and stuff like that, but they're also just in my Apple Calendar. So in the morning, I'm like, oh, 3 birthday messages. Or I log into my Facebook. Okay. So that's
Facebook's
one
a
you don't
great
necessarily
one.
need a system for. If you just put it in their contact information or they're on your Facebook, it's going to tell you. But other ones, like to track pop buys, to do like all of my buyers, they get like a quarterly email from Lofty of their AVM. or a CMA. Like, here you go. Here's what's going on in your hood. Because,
Yeah. So, and I add them into HomeBot. That's what I use too. And that's actually a monthly
yeah.
send out information piece. And it's a huge, I've got, I mean, I have people in there that aren't past clients, but I have 300 on that list, I think. And I have
Mm-hmm.
over 80% open rate every month. And those people engaging. And people are curious. They want to know what their house is worth. It's just an easy email that people get. Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting
That
ahead of
or
ourselves
like
again.
reminder media. Set it
Mhm.
and forget it.
Mhm.
It's on my, which is something we're going to touch base in here, on my Trello checklist. At
Yep.
closing, all my dates get added into different calendars, and reminder media gets set up so they're getting that quarterly magazine or
Mhm.
whatever postcards are going out.
All right. So
Okay,
let's back this up. Yeah, here we
let's
go.
back this train up. So we want to talk
We're doing
about
it again.
the systems that we
Mhm.
use to track our follow up to make sure people aren't falling off. And
Okay.
this is something I'm really focusing on this year because I've done the pop buys, and every time I'm like, oh, who am I giving this to? Or I found 20 whatevers. So what 20 people?
Mhm.
I think the way I'm doing it is it's all going in my Lofty to track when I sent them a pop, like when I stopped by with something. But I also think
I don't use
Trello's a
my Lofty nearly enough. I
I
don't use
I'm
it barely
I'm
at all.
I'm trying to put everything I can in there right now because I think
Mhm.
it's a great tool. I just have to remember to go in and look at it. So
And
like,
here's my thing with that. I'm just going to throw this out there and
mhm,
stick it into the universe. My thing with Lofty and my thing with KV Core when I had it, or my thing with KW Command, those things are attached to my brokerage. And I'm not leaving real. That's not the point. The
right,
point is if I decided if I did leave, and I won't, but if I did, I would have to then not pay $40 a month for Lofty to keep all of my notes and information, all of that stuff over that I've built up over time. I would have to pay what they quoted me $580 a
mhm,
month or something as a solo agent to keep my access to that.
right. Which I
And
think is something at some point, depending on your success or
mhm,
your budget, a lot of
is
agents do
totally
pay for
doable.
their
A
own.
lot of people do. Yes.
I'm not at
And
that
that's
point, and I'm
yeah.
also never leaving real. So you could quote me on that.
Exactly right.
That'll go
It's
on my headstone.
irrelevant.
I'm never leaving real.
It's irrelevant, but the same thing goes with having like a broker specific email. I
Right.
did it when I was with EXP and I did it when I was with KW. I lost all of my emails, you know?
So,
So I have now my own email that
right.
any of the brokerage emails get forwarded to my email.
Right. And that's something, check your firm ICA,
Mhm.
because when I was with Coldwell, if you used an external email, their E&O would not cover
Won't
whatever
cover
was in
you.
that email. So you double check that one. But yes, those are great tips. Like maybe forward it things, maybe set something else up. Yes, you could lose your Lofty, things like that. So I also, every contact that goes into my Lofty also goes into my Google contacts. No ifs, ands, or buts, because I own that. So if Lofty crashed one day and ate everything,
Mhm.
okay, what do? I'm pulling it all from there. Do I track everything in Google? No, but I would at least have their contact
Information.
information.
Mhm.
But yes, I think like if I'm like we both use Trello, right? So if I'm tracking my quarterly pop buys or whatever in Trello, and I'm going to put, okay, Christmas 2024, they're the names. Who did I deliver to? So then Q1 2025, I may not be touching the same people. I might be,
Mhm.
you don't know. But that's a way to double it up too, is like have that or even if you're not using a CRM, I
Mhm.
think using like a Trello or something like that. Some people use spreadsheets, whatever it is, figure out your system.
Yeah, and we have a couple of those listed in here because I mean, a lot of people, there's a lot of teams that use an expensive CRM or your brokerage supplies one for you, and those are all great. We also have a couple in here that are, free for
Yeah.
you to use because You see it all. What's the best CRM? Is it Follow Up Boss? Is it it's whatever you use. If you're
Mm-hmm.
using a notebook and sticky notes and that's what works for you, sister, go for it.
Right?
Color code the crap out of that if that's what works for you.
Stacy
Um
Sauls, before she really started using a CRM at Keller Williams,
mhm.
was using red Solo cups and popsicle sticks with her client's name on them to track where they
Listen,
were.
it's a
It
visual.
works. She was a
It
school
really
teacher. It
is.
worked.
That's why I love Trello so much, is being able to move those people. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, I know you said like you have a Christmas Popeye and you have the names in there. I'll actually, and I don't have all of my clients in there, but I'll move their name into quarter one. I've reached out to them. You know what I mean? Like they're
Right.
done. That I've talked to them. Um, I think your Google Calendar is a great one. That's a good way. Again, if we're time blocking, that's a very visual thing. You can put that in there that you're working on your Q1 pop buys, that you are reaching out to your A level past clients or your top 100. And there's actually a spreadsheet that I have from Girls with Grit that it's all set up when you say like that your most recent connection with them, if it's in the last quarter, like listen, spreadsheets are my nemesis. Really, my sister's so good at them. She makes them beautifully. She can make things turn colors, do math, all of that great stuff. I can't.
I
I
used
can't.
to when I had to use them.
Oh, I
They're
can't. But
pivot
this
tables.
one, if you say like, we're in Q1 right now. If I put a date in there, like I contacted them today, and then that color that's like it's highlighted, like you need to reach out to them, it goes away. Okay, done. And
Nice.
then it will automatically, once it's a next, like if it's been more than 3 months, that color comes back on that
I
spreadsheet.
love this.
I know. How do you do that?
I don't know,
But
but I want that
it's
template.
I'm a very visual person, so I like that. Um, Birthday cards, like you said, you've got birthdays in there. My best thing for this, birthdays, anniversaries, anything that you're touching base with somebody on, try to do it all at once. Okay, so if you pull up your calendar and you have all that stuff in your calendar for the month, start at the first week. Open it up. You have 6 birthday cards and 4 house anniversaries. Get those in an envelope and in the mail. If it shows up early, great. If it shows up 2 days late, great. Mail's weird, but it's done. You're not trying to sit down. Okay, Wednesday, I'm going to fill out this birthday card.
Right.
Next Tuesday, I have a birthday card and a house anniversary card. Like,
No,
just get it done.
mine
Time
are like
block
every
it, do it.
Monday.
Check it off the
Done.
list.
They go out in the mail.
That's the
Yep.
best way to do it.
Yep. Um, and I'll admit I have to get better at putting those dates in my calendar. Like there's a task in Trello, and they go into my Lofty, but
Mm-hmm.
actually following up, like going into my Lofty has been the hardest thing. So back to your point, what's the best way? Whatever one you're going to use, whatever one
Mm-hmm.
you're actually going to get into every day and look at and put the information in and track it. That's what you need to do.
Yep. And for me, I love the Trello. I love Trello. That's
Yes,
been
I love
great.
my
You
Trello.
can put checklists in there. You can put, so your post closing follow up, if you have a system that happens, you can click those off the list.
Yep.
All of those things, it's very visual. I love it. When it's done, you click it and move it to the done. It's
Yes.
so
Well,
satisfying.
and
It's
like,
almost like checking out, because I'm a paper planner too. So I love the
yes.
crossing
I
stuff
have
off. So
the desk
that's
calendar
the
and the planner and the
yes,
Trello.
it's terrible. It's
Yes.
terrible. I need to have just one, but I don't.
But I think the good thing about like a Trello or like a spreadsheet in a shared drive
Mm-hmm.
is if you have like an assistant, they can update that too. So
Yes.
if there's certain things you're outsourcing, they can go in and be like, okay, check,
I
it's
did
done.
this, did
So
this.
all you have
Mm-hmm.
to do is go in and be like, all right, they did this. Or be like, hey, I don't see this checked. Did it actually get done? What's
Mm-hmm.
going on here?
Yep.
Um,
And you can create, we're going to talk about Trello a lot because it's just the one that we use personally, but creating a board with cards for your events that are coming up, for your pop buys, for your past client reach outs. Like, make sure that you have, again, however you're going to track it, that's just the easiest. And if you have a system that the first month after closing, you send them a, hey, hope everything's great. whatever. And then you send them a home maintenance for the first quarter. If you have a system, like these are the 7 things that I do and send for my client the first year after closing, create a checklist, something
Mm-hmm.
that you can copy from that buyer card and paste into the next card. It's the same with sellers.
Oh yeah, I
Something that
have
you can
card
copy and
templates,
paste. Yep.
and it's all the same. And then I add
Mm-hmm.
and delete what I don't need.
And that's just better too because you're creating a repeatable experience. Um, so you're not doing one thing for some clients and nothing for another because they got lost in the shuffle or that kind of thing. Now, my past clients can probably be like, "Oh my gosh, she didn't do that." Things change. I've added things, I've eliminated things. So
Right.
one process isn't exactly the same as the other, but the idea behind it is
Exactly.
all the same. Mm-hmm.
And there's some like automated things you can set up too. Like we both use Reminder Media for the quarterly magazines. Those are
Yep.
great. I don't think about it. I put their name, their address in. It goes out 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Things like bomb videos, you can schedule to send those. Um, and you don't have to recreate the wheel every time. Canva
I
templates
just
for certain things,
Yep.
and then build that email. Pick the date it's gonna send, like a happy house anniversary. You can schedule that email to go out.
Yep.
Now, would I do
I
it 3 or 4 years in advance? No, but for the first year, probably
Sure.
because they're probably not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I would
And
get
it
those built
saves
out.
you, 5-10 minutes down the road, or it saves you from completely forgetting, period. Yesterday I just set up all of my, and I say home maintenance, they're like little home maintenance tidbits for each month. In Flowdesk, I set up each month. They're already done. They're
Nice.
gonna
I love
send
it.
out every month, and they're all different, but they're done. So that's one email every month that I know is going out to my entire database because it's all set up.
That's I love that. It's actually a great idea.
And same thing, you can create templates in Flowdesk. I think you can in Lofty too. So if you,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, if you send out an email, here's 3 things that you need to check on now that you've been in your house for 30 days, right? Or reminders that, I don't know, I could come up with something. You can, once your client's closed, that could be part of your process that you set up emails, contact points already. They're just already scheduled. They're automatically going to go out. So then when they respond to that email in 3 months, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to do this." You'd be like, "Oh yeah, I
Right.
would have too, but I did it the same day that we closed."
Right.
So,
Or even like um if you can add an attachment, like we
mm-hmm,
both mail, we've talked about it before, the tax records at the beginning of the year.
mm-hmm,
But if you need a way to keep it lower cost, schedule it as an email. Boom, January 1st, it's out the door
mm-hmm.
and it's done and they've got their document and you don't have to worry about it. Um yeah, I think automating things to a certain extent is great. Obviously, you don't want to push it out too far cuz life circumstances change. But like you said, the first year, the home maintenance, pretty generic things, I think you can
Yep.
schedule out a little further because even if they've bought or sold, the home maintenance is going to be great. Or like
Yes.
I did one, we got a winter storm last week. My whole database got an email 2 days before. Hey, this is coming. This is how you should be prepared. If you need any help, like getting vendors or something, let me know.
And
Um,
if they hate it, they delete it. If
right,
they're like, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot that I'm all out of AA batteries and I might need them for the flashlight." That's great. I
yep.
had one gentleman last week or the week before reply to an email. He's been on my email list for 2 years now, has not responded to a single thing. And he's like, "Just so you know, I am still moving. Things have slowed down," whatever it was. But he's like, "I love your emails. I look forward to them every week. Sometimes they're very helpful. Sometimes they don't apply to me, but I appreciate the effort." And I'm like, great. See,
Great,
it
awesome.
works.
That's
Mm-hmm.
perfect. That's exactly what you want it to be.
Yep.
So I think overall, like we've talked about a bunch of tools, project management tools like a Trello. You could use a spreadsheet if that's your love
Have
language.
you
Um,
used Notion? I'm going to
no.
squirrel for a second.
Notion is similar to Trello though. It's a project management tool, right?
Mm-hmm. I bought a Notion template.
Of course
Don't
you
shake
did.
your head at me. Don't shake your head at me.
Sparklies.
Sparkly, but no, it was actually who was it? Somebody else bought it, and she was like showing on a story like all that it did. I was like, oh, what? What I love about this that I've been working on the last couple of weeks setting up, you have a master task list that you can add in, and you can tag it to goals, quarters, all of these things. So for example, if I'm monthly, I need to schedule my emails, my weekly emails that go out that month. I need to schedule that. I can put that under repeated tasks, tag it to my 30 transaction goal that I have for 2025, tag it to my GCI goal, all of those things. And then it comes up in if I put a date on it, that day it pops up on that daily list,
You
which
can
is
do that in
nice.
Trello.
I don't know how to do that in Trello.
I think if you use the paid version, you
I
can
was going to say, is it the paid one?
connect it to your Google Calendar and connect dates so that it's in there and tells you what to do.
Yep. I don't have the paid version of Trello, and the Notion one's free too. So,
Yeah.
but that I've liked because it's like I have my daily stuff in there too. Laundry, dishes, walk a mile, whatever it is, and then check, 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 we're moving on to the next day. That's just a visual one. And if you open up the different boards, which if you can do this in Trello and pay for it, that's great. Opening this up to be like your project management part of it. I'm planning this event, this, let's say it's an Easter egg event, right, for spring. These are the tasks that are associated with this event. You can put dates in there that they need to be done by. You can view it project view, you can view it quarter view, you can view it daily view, all of those things where it kind of says this is what you could be working on. And you could put your follow-up people in there too. You could put names in there, follow up with so and so, tag it to a specific day. So when you open up your daily task list, your names are in there too.
Yep. Yeah, there's all sorts of tools you can use. I think back to our original point, figure out which one works for you. Is it your CRM because it's something you've already paid for or your firm pays for and you don't want to add another element? Is it a Trello or a Notion because that's how your brain works?
Is it the Notes app on your phone?
Right. Or is it the reminder app? For a while, I was using that because it fed right into my calendar, told me exactly what to do every day. I loved it. But it didn't track to like my Lofty and stuff like that. So I wasn't long term. But whatever it is, and we've given you tons of options. And if you want more information, reach out to us. We can show you how we use things. The most important part is, do you actually use it? Because you could pay $500 a month for a CRM, but if you're not using it, it's not going to do things they promised it's going to do. It's like paying for a gym membership and never walking through the front door. You got to use it. Yeah. So I'm going to wrap us up here because I think we've covered. I think we're good with shorty on this one.
And we're losing a voice.
If y'all follow me on social media, you know I've been sick for like 3 weeks now. But I think we talked about it in the last episode, why follow-up is crucial. It's going to build the business. It's going to keep you in touch with people. They're going to come back. They're going to send referrals. So you need to find a system that works for you and stick with it. And like I said, it's like a gym membership. It only works if you walk through the front door. So figure out what it is. And this is a way to build genuine relationships. So you might be spending money on some things here. You're not paying thousands of dollars a month for leads. Yep. You're building these relationships that will come back.
And people are craving that right now. Still, after COVID, like people want a person-to-person connection. They want a face-to-face. They want a little text message. Like it's a social media and like the doom scroll has made, these short dopamine bursts, but like we're a crowd species. Yes. We're supposed to be with other people. So don't underestimate the power of just a simple follow-up. Really, just a simple reach out can do for somebody. And yes, honestly, we could give you exactly what we say. We could give you the Trello board that we use. if you're not going to do it, it won't matter. And honestly, you could do it the exact same way that we do and have completely different results because
Yep.
you're a different person. It comes across differently. That's just how it works. So,
And I think one more point I want to make, you made it earlier, but we didn't really dive into it, is don't feel like you have to build a Trello or a Notion or something from scratch. Go on Etsy, go to Elevated Agent. If you want Elevated Agent's link, send it to me. I have a link for you. They've got it built. They've got things built out. You pay $5, $10, $20 and you've got it and you can make it your own. Best thing I've ever done. Best thing. Instead of spending days or hours trying to build it from scratch. And it may not have exactly the ideas, but it has the structure built in for you to just, okay, now I add my ideas and I go with it.
And that's something we should talk about in another episode too, is like so many people are like, oh, it's $20. Oh, it's $40. Oh, let's figure out how much money you make an hour and then tell me if it's worth it to spend that $20 to have that completely done, that you plug in your information, maybe your brand colors, and throw in a little pizzazz and be done with it.
Yep. That's one of the best things I did was with Trello, especially, was I bought boards or templates for like buyer guides. Buy it, fix it, make it your own, but don't try and recreate the wheel because someone's already created it for you. And for $20, I've used that thing for 5 years now. It's great. So yeah.
Well, that was
it.
It still wasn't a quickie. It's almost 30 minutes, but that's fine.
But better than an hour.
We're doing great things over here. Well, I hope that this helps. I hope it gives you a little bit of encouragement to just maybe reach out to 5 people. Listen, I have to tell you this one last thing and then we're done, I swear. Reach out to the past clients that fell off your wagon, that you fell off the wagon on, okay? I sent out text messages for Thanksgiving this year to one of my very first listing ever. I haven't talked to him in probably 3 years, and that's terrible of me. Sent him a text, hey, it's been a while, happy Thanksgiving, hope you're doing great, yada yada. He thumbs up the message. Great, he saw it, no big deal. 2 weeks ago, he texted me and was like, hey, I saw this piece of property, sent me the listing for the property. He's like, I think I'm going to be selling this house, building a new one. I need to go see this house or this property. Can you help me?
Nice. Perfect.
I have not talked to this man in 3 years. So even if you're like, ooh, it's too late, I missed the bandwagon, reach out to them. Say hello. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say.
That's it. Okay. All right. We love you.
We'll see you.
We will see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys. We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.